That seat isn't yours. It says 2A.
Step aside.
Check the manifest. I already did. Then check it again.
What's happening?
Nothing that concerns you. Read the name.
The system changed.
After I scanned?
Move now.
His pass is green. Just let him sit.
Stay out of this.
Who changed the seat? You are delaying everyone.
Take the seat in the rear. I purchased this one. Your upgrade was incorrect. It was never an upgrade. Do not argue with the crew. Print the change. We don't owe you an explanation. You owe me an accurate record.
Step away from the gate. Check the original manifest.
He refused reassignment.
My seat was taken after boarding. He's delaying departure.
What happened?
Preserve everything.
Everything.
Everything. Original manifest, seat history, gate audio, security footage.
Who are you calling?
The person who can freeze the record.
Supervisor, headquarters is calling.
Ignore it. Risk office is online too.
Risk office? What did you do? I asked them to preserve the truth.
You can't stop a deal over one seat.
I didn't stop it.
Then who did?
The record did. What happens now?
That seat isn't yours, the gate supervisor said, as every face in first class turned toward the black man holding a valid boarding pass. Why did the crew believe a wrinkled jacket more than the name printed on the manifest? Why did a quiet passenger have to prove he belonged while others watched in silence? When security arrived, he did not argue. He only opened an old photograph, checked the time, and made one call. Minutes later, phones began ringing in offices far above the terminal. The airline thought it had removed an inconvenient traveler. It had no idea what had just been placed at risk, or why that single call would expose a decision worth billions. Stay until the last announcement. Step away from the gate, sir. The security supervisor's voice carried through the boarding area. Marcus Reed stood beside the sealed jet bridge, one hand on his worn leather portfolio. Rain streaked the windows. "I'm waiting for a written explanation," Marcus said. Dana Whitmore folded her arms. "You were offered another flight. Tomorrow. That is the available option." A printer clicked behind her. No paper appeared. At 8:17 a.m., Victor Hale watched a green status bar vanish from his screen. Northcrest Airways' $3.8 billion credit line had been expected to close before breakfast. A gray notice replaced it. Transaction suspended. Document hold. Victor seized his phone. "Get Treasury." His assistant stared at her ringing line. "The bank wants every passenger service record tied to Flight 618. "That has nothing to do with financing." A second line flashed. Back at the terminal, Grant Sloan moved between Marcus and the counter. Gray at the temples, he spoke with the patience of someone who had chosen a side. "Mr. Reed, your boarding pass is inactive. You need to leave." "My bag is on that plane." "Customer service can help downstairs." "My suit for tonight is in it." Dana sighed. "We are not reopening a flight because you dislike the solution." Marcus glanced at the camera above the monitor. "I asked you to preserve the original manifest." The system updated. Who authorized it? A phone rang beneath the counter. Donna ignored it. Marcus's phone vibrated. Amelia filled the screen, then vanished before he could answer. The missed call symbol remained beside 819. The terminal noise receded. He opened the portfolio and found the old photograph behind his canceled ticket. Claire smiling in a summer dress, Amelia between them at 9, missing one front tooth. Across the back, his daughter had written, "Don't make me save both seats." Grant shifted. "Sir?" Marcus returned the photograph to his inner pocket. "I'll leave after you give me an incident number." "There is no incident," Dana said. "You refused reassignment." Leah Morales stopped typing at the next terminal. "That isn't what happened," she said. Dana turned. "Excuse me?" His seat was confirmed when he scanned in. A man near the charging station lowered his eyes. An older woman held her phone at chest height, recording openly. Dana's voice dropped. "Return to your station." Leah obeyed, but pressed one key before her screen changed. Marcus's phone vibrated again. Elena Park. "Marcus, tell me what happened." He walked to where the carpet met cold tile. "First, preserve everything." "Everything?" "Original and amended manifests, gate audio, camera footage, seat history, staff notes, executive overrides." Elena inhaled. "Are you invoking the Covenant review?" "I'm asking whether they already violated it." Across the gate, Donna answered the ringing phone. The color left her face. "Victor Hale's office wants you," Elena said. "He calls this a misunderstanding." Marcus watched the closed jet bridge door. "Misunderstandings don't alter records," he said. "People do." Grant's radio crackled. Dana covered the receiver and stared at Marcus as if his face had changed. Then every phone behind the gate counter began to ring. At 5:11 a.m., Marcus unlocked his office and found Elena Park beside the table with 2 untouched coffees. "You're early," he said. "You're leaving." "That is not the same thing." She slid a blue folder toward him. Rain tapped the glass. "North Crest wants final authorization before 8. They have the committee's approval. They want yours." Marcus removed his damp charcoal jacket. Its lining had begun to fray near one cuff. "Then they can wait until I read the Covenant summary. Your flight board's at 7:40. I know. And Amelia's ceremony starts at 4. I know that too." For 20 minutes, only the ventilation hummed. Then Marcus stopped at a paragraph about passenger treatment reporting. This language changed. They call it a clarification. It turns mandatory disclosure into internal review. Elena leaned forward. "Victor Hale says their compliance record is clean. Then the stronger wording shouldn't frighten him." His phone lit with a message from Amelia. "Still coming?" Marcus typed. "Already on my way," then deleted it. Elena noticed. "You promised her." "I'm going." "You promised Claire that before 3 other events." He closed the folder. His wedding ring clicked against the table. That was unnecessary. It was accurate. The old photograph rested behind his identification card. Claire in a yellow dress, Amelia at 9, Marcus looking away because someone had called his name. He touched its worn corner. "Send North Crest the original language," he said. "No substitutions." "And your signature?" "When they accept it." At 5:44, his driver waited under the awning. "Airport?" the man asked. "I'll take the shuttle from Pine Street." "Sir, it's raining." "So are the roads. Go home before traffic traps you." Marcus boarded the nearly empty shuttle with commuters carrying folded umbrellas. Warm air smelled of wet wool and rubber flooring. No assistant sat beside him. To anyone watching, he was simply a tired black traveler in a worn jacket, his thumb resting against a silver ring. Amelia called as the shuttle crossed the river. "Tell me you're not still at work." "I'm looking at the water." "That is not an answer." "I'm on the airport shuttle." Her breath softened. "You kept the old picture?" "In my pocket." "I put a note behind it." He turned the photograph over. In her narrow handwriting were the words, "Leave the seat beside Mom empty only until the ceremony starts." The shuttle swayed around a corner. "I'll be there before they call your name," Marcus said. "You said that at my licensing dinner." "I remember." "And at Mom's memorial concert." "I remember that too." The heater clicked off. Cold air slipped along the floor. "I'm not trying to punish you," Amelia said. "I know. I just need one day when the bank doesn't arrive first." Marcus watched city lights smear across the rain-streaked window. Today, it won't. At 6:18, the shuttle opened beneath the airport canopy. He stepped into the cold, lifted his suitcase, and tucked the photograph inside his jacket. His phone buzzed with Elena's message. Northcrest accepted the original terms. Final signature pending. Ahead, Flight 618 changed from on time to boarding soon. At 6:31 a.m., the self-service kiosk rejected Marcus's boarding pass with a soft double chime. He tried again. See agent. Suitcase wheels ticked over tile as he moved to the priority counter, where Dana Whitmore stacked boarding slips. My reservation won't open, he said. Dana glanced at his worn jacket before taking his phone. Economy check-in is across the hall. Seat 2A. Her fingers stopped. Then she scanned the code. The screen flashed red. This ticket was upgraded incorrectly. It was purchased that way. By whom? By me. At the next station, Leah Morales, 29, watched with dark curls pinned high and her lips pressed tight. Dinah opened another window. Do you have the payment card? Marcus placed it face down. The reservation includes verification. She did not touch it. High-value cabins trigger review. Then review it. A coffee grinder whined nearby. Donna clicked through 3 screens reflected in her glasses. Your profile has no status history. I don't use the loyalty program. That explains the problem. No, it explains what you expected to see. Leah's hands paused. At 6:38, a man in a cream coat stepped around the line. Mercer's office called. They want 2A held. Dana lowered her voice. It's occupied. Not anymore. He walked away without looking at Marcus. What was that? Marcus asked. Operational seating. My pass still says 2A. For now, she typed. A red flag appeared beside his name. Manual review blinked once before the screen changed. What did you add? A routine service note. Read it to me. That is internal. Leah cleared her throat. His payment cleared yesterday. Dana did not turn. Return to your queue. Leah obeyed, but Marcus saw her glance at the clock, then at the red mark. His phone vibrated. Amelia. Gate yet? He typed. Checking in now. Save my seat. Another message appeared from Elena. Northcrest Legal wants a final call at 7 o'clock. Marcus replied, After boarding. Dana printed a slip. Proceed to the gate. They'll resolve the assignment. This has no seat. It's a verification receipt. My boarding pass had a seat. It is under review. The paper was warm. Marcus folded it once and placed it inside his portfolio. Who requested the review? I've answered your questions. No, you changed the screen. Dana looked past him at the growing line. Do you want to travel today? The question landed quietly. Marcus rested one hand on the counter. I want the seat I purchased. A woman behind him adjusted her purse and looked away. Leah stepped closer with a baggage tag. Mr. Reed, I can check your suitcase through to Denver. Dana frowned. I didn't authorize that. The reservation is valid. Marcus studied Leah. And the seat? She lowered her voice. It was valid when you scanned in. Donna took the tag and attached it with a sharp pull. Gate B17. Boarding begins in 30 minutes. His suitcase vanished behind the rubber curtain with his suit and Amelia's ceremony notes. A printer chirped at Leah's station. She tore off a page, glanced at Dana, and slipped it beneath her keyboard. On Marcus's phone, Flight 618 still showed Seat 2A. On Dana's screen, it no longer did. At 7:36 a.m., Marcus reached Gate B17 as the last first-class passengers entered the jet bridge. The scanner gave a clean green tone. Seat 2A, the agent said, returning his phone. Dana stood at the far counter, speaking into a headset. She did not look up. Cool air met Marcus inside the aircraft. The cabin smelled of coffee, leather, and citrus cleaner. He stopped at the second row. A man in a cream sweater was fastening the belt in 2A. "I believe that's my seat," Marcus said. The man glanced at his boarding pass. "They moved you." "No one told me." "They told me." Owen Pike appeared from the galley, his dark uniform immaculate, a silver service pin centered at his collar. "Is there a problem?" "My pass says 2A." Owen studied the screen for barely a second. The seating map changed during boarding. The gate scanner confirmed it. Scanners update slowly. "Where is my seat now?" 28C. A woman across the aisle stopped unwrapping a mint. "I paid for this cabin," Marcus said. "And you're still traveling today," Owen replied. "That is what matters." The man in 2A crossed one ankle over his knee. "I have a meeting in Denver." "So do I." Owen's smile tightened. "Please don't make this difficult." Marcus kept his voice low. "Print the change and its reason. We do not provide internal notes in the aisle." "Then call the gate." Passengers waited behind him with bags pressed to their legs. A suitcase wheel squeaked whenever someone shifted. Owen turned sideways, narrowing the space. "Take 28C or leave the aircraft." "Was 2A reassigned before or after I scanned?" "That is not relevant." "It is the only relevant question." The woman with the mint lowered her eyes. A man in the first row raised his newspaper over his face. The passenger in 2A sighed. "Can we move?" Marcus's fingers tightened around the portfolio handle, then eased. "My daughter receives an award at 4. My bag is already below us. I'm not asking for special treatment. Honor the ticket you accepted." Owen touched the call panel. "Dana, I need you on board." The overhead vents whispered. Rain trembled across the windows. Cold air slipped under Marcus's collar, though sweat had gathered beneath it. A young flight attendant approached with a paper cup. "Would you like water while this is sorted out?" Owen answered. "He's returning to the gate." Marcus faced her. "What is your name?" "Nina." "Did you see me threaten anyone?" "No." "Refuse an instruction?" Her eyes moved toward Owen. "Nina," he said. She lowered the cup. "Not yet." Owen stepped closer. "You have now been instructed to leave." Marcus checked the time. 7:42. Amelia's unread message sat beneath the boarding pass. "Record that I complied," he said, "and that I objected. Walk forward." As Marcus turned, the man in 2A lifted a coat from the armrest. Beneath it lay a white card marked Executive Guest. Marcus stopped. "That tag was not issued with my ticket." Owen snatched it away. "Keep moving." At the front curtain, Dana stepped aboard, her headset glowing blue. "What is he doing here?" she asked. Owen showed her Marcus's valid seat number. Dana looked past him at the silent cabin. "Remove him," she said. Dana stepped aside and opened the jet bridge door. "Sir, you need to leave now." Marcus looked once toward seat 2A. The man in the cream sweater had already opened his laptop. Around him, first-class passengers studied menus and phones. "Will you state the reason?" Marcus asked. "You are delaying departure." "I was given no seat." "You refused reassignment." "That happened after mine was taken." Owen pointed toward the door. "This conversation is over." Marcus walked forward. Cold air from the jet bridge pressed through his damp collar. The carpet felt soft after the metal floor. At the aircraft entrance, Ruth Ellison, 63, stood with a canvas tote pressed to her coat. She raised her phone. "Are you recording?" Dana asked. "I'm recording the boarding area." "Put it away." Ruth did not. Behind her, Tom Baker checked his watch. "Some of us have connections," he muttered. Marcus stepped onto the terminal carpet. "I need written confirmation that I was removed from a valid seat." "You were not removed," Dana said. You chose not to accept 28C. That is not the same event. It will be noted as such. Leah stood at the counter, fingers above the keyboard. Leah, Dana said, close the record. The original manifest still shows 2A under his name. Owen turned. Not anymore. The archive does. The printer clicked, and a page slid halfway out. Dana pulled it free before Marcus could read it. Return to boarding, she told Owen. He glanced at Ruth's phone. That recording may contain protected passenger information. It contains a man asking for what he paid for, Ruth replied. Several people in line looked up. Dinah's mouth tightened. Security has been called. Then give me an incident number. There is no incident. You called security. That is for crowd control. What crowd? The gate fell quiet except for the hum of sealing vents. Tom met Marcus's eyes, then looked away. Near the window, a woman whispered. He had a first-class pass. Her companion touched her elbow, and both fell silent. Leah leaned toward her screen. I can print the transaction history. Dana covered the keyboard. No. The word was quiet, but Ruth's phone caught it. At 7:49, Grant Sloan arrived with 2 security officers. What happened? This passenger refuses to leave after disrupting boarding, Dana said. Marcus held out his phone. My pass scanned green. My seat was reassigned after I boarded. I requested a written reason. Grant did not take it. Do you have another flight? Tomorrow. Customer service can handle it downstairs. My checked bag is on this aircraft. We'll locate it. A chime sounded overhead. Final cabin check. Dana turned toward the jet bridge. Close the door. Marcus looked from the doorway to Grant. Will you inspect the original manifest? That is an airline matter. Then what are you deciding? Grant's jaw shifted. Whether you leave voluntarily. The boarding door began to swing inward. Marcus stepped aside without resistance. The latch closed with a flat metallic click. Beyond it, seat 2A disappeared. Ruth kept recording. Leah reached beneath her keyboard, took the page Dana had missed, and folded it into her sleeve. Your bag is already loaded, Dana said. Marcus stood beside the sealed gate door as the screen changed from boarding to closed. I need it removed. That can take hours. It contains what I need tonight. You can collect it in Denver tomorrow. I will be in Denver today. Not on this flight. The aircraft pushed back from the window. Wing lights slid across wet pavement and vanished into rain. Print the cancellation, Marcus said. Donna typed. The ticket is not canceled. You declined the alternate seat. I declined an unauthorized downgrade. That distinction won't create another seat. It changes the record. Leah kept her eyes down, the folded original manifest hidden beneath her wrist. Dana printed a receipt. Economy tomorrow, 6:10 a.m. Marcus read it. No reason. No reference to 2A. Where's the incident number? There isn't one. Then why was security called? Grant's radio hissed. Donna turned away. At 8:02, Marcus called baggage services while cold air blew against his ankles. Ruth remained nearby, her phone lowered. I'm sorry, she said. For recording? For waiting until they closed the door. He nodded. Keep the original file. The hold music stopped. My suitcase was loaded after I was denied boarding, Marcus told the agent. Was the denial voluntary? No. Dana called from the counter. It was a refusal of reassignment. Keys clicked through the phone. The record says voluntary rebooking, Mr. Reed. Who entered that? I can't disclose employee identifiers. Flag the bag for return. The aircraft has departed. It will remain in Denver storage. My suit is in that case. So are my notes for my daughter's ceremony. I can add a courtesy message. Add the exact time I requested retrieval. 3 missed calls from Amelia glowed on his screen. He pressed her name. Dad? I'm here. Are you boarding? Her voice broke beneath a loudspeaker announcement. There's been a delay. How long? I'm finding another way. You said that before. I know. Mom's chair is already on stage. The line crackled. Amelia. Then it dropped. Marcus typed, I will be there, but the signal disappeared. Only 3 unfinished words remained. Dad, are you? At customer service, 40 passengers waited beneath harsh white lights. Every opening door carried cold, rain-scented air. The desk agent scanned his receipt. Tomorrow is the first confirmed seat. What leaves today? 2 flights, both full. Check other carriers. That could cost more than your original fare. I asked what is available. She typed, frowned, and lowered her voice. 1 seat at 11:40. Manual approval required. From whom? Dana Whitmore. Marcus returned. There is a seat at 11:40, he said. Not anymore. You denied it. You are marked for supervisory review. Because I requested a receipt? Because you disrupted boarding. Ruth raised her phone again. Marcus set a paper cup on the counter. He had not taken a sip. Both hands stayed around it while the heat faded. Remove the note. I can't. You entered it. Dana's gaze flicked toward Leah. On the departure board, the 11:40 flight changed from 1 seat to waitlist only. You need to move away from the gate, Grant said. Marcus kept the cold paper cup between his palms. I'm waiting for the note to be removed. Dinah tapped the screen. It stays until review. Then show me who approved it. That information is internal. Grant stepped closer, his radio brushing his jacket with a burst of static. Mr. Reed, you no longer have access to this concourse. My bag is on the aircraft. My ticket remains active. Customer service sent me back here. You were instructed to leave. After my seat was reassigned. Grant glanced at Dana. She gave a small nod. The terminal doors opened behind them, sending damp air across the tile. Marcus set the untouched cup on a trash ledge and took out his phone. Please check the original manifest, he said. Grant folded his hands over his belt. The airline has explained the situation. They changed the explanation 3 times. That is not my department. Then why are you enforcing it? For a moment, only suitcase wheels clicked past the gate. Leah stood behind the counter with one sleeve pressed against her side. The archive still exists, she said. Dana turned sharply. Enough. It shows when 2A changed. Sign out, Leah. I haven't finished boarding reconciliation. You're finished now. Leah's chair rolled backward and struck the cabinet. Several passengers looked over, but no one spoke. Grant gestured toward the security doors. Let's go. Marcus opened his portfolio to return the rebooking slip. The old photograph caught against the zipper and fell face down. A hard-shell suitcase rolled over one corner before Ruth reached down. Stop, she said. The traveler pulling it paused, then hurried away without looking back. Ruth lifted the photograph by its edges. A gray wheel mark crossed Claire's yellow dress. Marcus took it carefully. I'm sorry, Ruth whispered. He brushed the surface with his thumb, but the mark remained. Beyond the glass, Flight 618 turned toward the runway. A white card still rested against the window at seat 2A. Sir, Grant said more quietly, we need to continue. Marcus placed the photograph inside his jacket. His fingers missed the inner pocket twice before finding it. Will you record that my property was sent without me? Customer service can document baggage. Will you record that I requested the manifest? Grant looked toward Dana. She answered for him. No. Ruth's phone remained raised. I recorded it. Donna pointed at the concourse exit. You are interfering with an active operation. I'm standing behind the line. You're escalating him. Marcus turned to Ruth. Save the original file. Don't edit it. Don't post it yet. Why not? Because the record matters more than the reaction. Grant escorted him toward the security doors. The carpet gave way to cold tile, and an aircraft roared beyond the windows. At the checkpoint, Marcus looked back. Leah was gone. Dana had taken her terminal, and the printer beside her was feeding out a long strip of paper. Flight 618 lifted through the rain. Marcus's phone vibrated once. The battery warning read 5%. Then a message appeared from an unknown number. I saved the first manifest. They know. The message stayed on Marcus's screen for 3 seconds before the battery icon flashed red. He typed, "Who is this?" No reply came. Grant held open the security door. You can charge your phone downstairs. Marcus stepped through. The door sealed behind him with a magnetic thud, cutting off the gate announcements. Closed cafes sat behind metal grills. A cleaning machine crossed the floor, leaving a wet shine that smelled of lemon. He found an outlet beneath plastic chairs and plugged in his phone. The paper cup from the gate was gone. His hands still held its shape. At 8:31, Amelia called. Dad, rehearsal starts in 20 minutes. I missed the flight. She did not answer. They changed my seat after boarding, he said. My bag went without me. You always have a reason. This one is true. They all were. A cart rattled past. Marcus watched its red light vanish around the corner. I can take the 1140. Can you? The seat was blocked. By the bank? No. She laughed once, without warmth. For once, your job can't fix something. Marcus took the photograph from his jacket. The wheel mark crossed Claire's dress. I'm trying not to use it that way. What way? To make people move because of my name. Then what are you doing? He looked at the empty chairs, deciding whether staying quiet is dignity or another excuse. Static softened her voice. Mom's photograph is on the chair beside the stage, Amelia said. I know. I kept yours beside it. Marcus closed his eyes. I may not make the speech, she said. You earned that room before anyone decided who sat in it. That isn't the same as you being there. No, the words stayed between them. I have to go. They're calling us. Amelia! The call ended. Marcus did not move until the screen went dark. The coffee he had bought downstairs had cooled completely. He held it with both hands anyway, feeling only the seam in the cardboard. At 8:47, Ruth approached with her canvas tote. I thought you left, Marcus said. I changed my connection. You didn't have to. I watched them close that door. She sat 2 chairs away. Then I watched everyone pretend it was normal. Did you post it? No, you asked me not to. Thank you. Ruth studied the damaged photograph. Your wife? Claire. She would have been angry. She would have been precise. That brought the smallest smile to his face. His phone vibrated. The unknown number again. They told me to delete the archive. I printed it first. Blue Locker 14, staff corridor near B17. Marcus read the message twice. Ruth leaned forward. Important? Yes. Are you going back? My access was revoked. Mine wasn't. He shook his head. I won't ask you to do that. You didn't. She stood, adjusted her tote, and held out her hand. Show me the locker number. Before Marcus could answer, another message appeared. Do not trust the voluntary rebooking note. Dana changed it after security arrived. Marcus looked toward the sealed doors above the escalator. Beyond them, the original record waited in a blue locker, while in Denver, his daughter was walking toward a stage beside two empty chairs. Ruth read the locker number once, then slipped Marcus's phone into her tote. "Stay here," she said. "I won't send you into a staff corridor." "You're not sending me. I'm choosing not to walk past this twice." At 8:54 a.m., she disappeared through the security doors. Marcus remained beside the closed cafe, cold coffee between his palms. His phone rang. "Elena." "I've frozen closing," she said. "Treasury is holding every draw request." "Good. Preserve before reviewing." "Legal wants a basis." "Possible falsified passenger records tied to compliance warranties." "That stops funding. It doesn't end the facility." "I didn't ask you to end it." "Victor Hale has called 6 times, Elena said. "He says one difficult passenger is threatening a transaction." "Tell him the passenger threatened no one." Marcus flattened the wrinkled boarding slip against his knee. "Preserve the manifests, gate audio, footage, seat logs, executive overrides, staff messages, and the note marking my rebooking voluntary." "You think they altered it afterward?" "I know the sequence changed." "How?" "A witness saved the first manifest." "Marcus, the committee will ask whether this is personal." "It is personal." "That can look retaliatory." "Then remove me from the vote." Elena went quiet. "You would suspend a $3.8 billion facility and recuse yourself?" "I would preserve evidence and let others decide what it means." Ruth returned 10 minutes later and opened her tote. Inside was a folded sheet, still warm from a printer. "Blue locker 14, she said. "No lock. Just this." "Did anyone see you?" "A gate agent with dark curls. She said, 'Give it to the man with the photograph.'" Marcus unfolded the page. The original manifest showed Reed, Marcus, 2A, confirmed at 7:31. A later entry reassigned 2A to Mercer, Colin under executive courtesy. The timestamp was 7:39, 4 minutes after Marcus's pass had scanned green. At the bottom, manual action. D. Whitmore. Ruth whispered, "Is that enough?" "It is enough to ask better questions." His phone rang. Victor Hale. "Mr. Reed," Victor began. "I understand there was confusion at the gate." "No." "No?" "There was a sequence of decisions. We can correct your travel immediately. A private aircraft can be ready within the hour." "I need a confirmed seat on the next commercial flight." "Of course. Then perhaps we can put this matter behind us." Marcus looked at the wheel mark across Claire's dress. "Who authorized the executive courtesy override?" Victor's voice changed. "I don't have gate-level details." "Your office called before boarding." "That is routine customer relations." "Then preserving the records should be routine too." Victor lowered his voice. "Must this affect financing?" "That depends on what your records show." Marcus ended the call and sent Elena a photograph of the manifest. Her reply appeared at once. Hold expanded. Formal preservation notice issuing now. Donna's name remained on the rebooking slip. Beneath it, his status still read, voluntary. Marcus pressed Elena's number. "Add one instruction," he said. "No record is to be edited, overwritten, or deleted from this moment forward." On the other end, keys began to move. At 9:12 a.m., Miriam Cole entered the operations office carrying 2 phones and an email marked Urgent Preservation Notice. "Who is Marcus Reed?" she asked. Donna stood beside the gate monitor. "A passenger who refused reassignment." Miriam placed the email on the counter. "Try again." The printer began feeding blank pages, its rollers squealing in the quiet room. Dinah read the first line beneath Marcus's name and stopped. Chief Executive Officer, Meridian Continental Bank. Owen stepped closer. That can't be right. It is, Miriam said. His bank leads our credit syndicate. Dana read the title again, while the printer continued its useless rhythm. He never said, Owen muttered. He showed you a valid ticket, Miriam replied. What else did you require? In the concourse, Marcus folded the original manifest inside his portfolio and placed Claire's photograph behind it. When Miriam approached, she slowed. Mr. Reed, I'm Miriam Cole, Terminal Director. I owe you an apology. You owe me an accurate record. Yes, and a seat. We can arrange a private aircraft. No, it would get you to Denver before noon. It would turn a service failure into a favor. That isn't our intention. Then put me on the next commercial flight under the same rules as everyone else. Miriam glanced at Grant, who no longer stood between Marcus and the terminal. There is one seat at 1025, she said. First class. Confirmed? I can confirm it now. Without removing someone else? Her answer took a second too long. Marcus closed his portfolio. Check first. Miriam called operations. While she waited, Amelia's voicemail notification appeared. Marcus did not open it. Dana and Owen approached together. Dana had removed her headset. Owen's service pin sat crooked. Mr. Reed, Dana began, we were working with incomplete information. Whose? The system did not display your profile. It displayed my seat. Owen shifted. We believed the reassignment was authorized. It was authorized, Marcus said. That is the problem. The printer finally stopped. One blank page slid to the floor. Donna bent for it, but her hand hovered. Miriam ended her call. Seat 3C is open. No passenger will be displaced. Your pass is being issued. Thank you. You can use the executive lounge. I'll wait at the gate. Victor Hale wants to speak with you. He can speak to the credit committee after the records are secured. You removed yourself from the vote? Yes. Donna stared at him. Then you're not cutting the credit line. I'm not deciding its fate. Relief flickered across her face. Marcus added, The evidence will. At 9:26, Leah emerged from the staff corridor carrying her coat. Dana turned, but Miriam raised a hand. Ms. Morales stays available to investigators. No one contacts her alone. Leah met Marcus's eyes. He gave one small nod. A new boarding pass printed. 3C, confirmed. Marcus placed it beside the canceled slip rather than over it. Rain had thinned to mist beyond the windows. Then Miriam's second phone rang. She listened, glanced toward Dana, and said, They found 14 more voluntary rebookings with the same wording. 14? Miriam repeated. The office went still, except for the printer cooling beside Dana's elbow. Miriam listened to the caller. Lock the records. No edits, no deletions. She ended the call. They're spread across 6 months, she said. Same sentence, same punctuation. Passenger agreed to voluntary rebooking, Leah said. Miriam turned. How did you know? Supervisors told us to use it when an executive guest needed a seat. Dana's jaw tightened. That was not policy. No, Leah said. It was practice. At 9:31 a.m., they entered a glass room above the ramp. Nathan Brooks, 40, a compliance auditor with rimless glasses, connected a secure drive to the wall screen. Ruth sat near the door. Joyce Kim from Meridian's credit committee joined by video. Mr. Reed, Nathan said, listen without correcting anyone. Marcus set down the portfolio. That is why I recused myself. The first file showed a traveler moved from 1D after boarding, voluntary rebooking. The second showed a couple separated over a premium seat. The third involved an older passenger whose complaint closed before she landed. Ruth tightened her hands around her phone. "How many include executive courtesy codes?" Joyce asked. 12. "And the other 2? "Cabin upgrades for relatives of senior managers." Dana stared at the rows. "I never saw them together." "You entered 5, Nathan replied. "I followed instructions." "Whose?" "Owen would call from the aircraft. Sometimes Victor Hale's office called first." Owen leaned back. "You approved the changes. You told passengers the system moved them. That's what the gate showed. After you asked me to change it." Nathan raised one hand. One at a time. Cold air crossed the room. Marcus placed Claire's wheel-marked photograph face down beside his canceled pass. Joyce noticed. "Do you need a break?" "No." Nathan opened the training archive. Certificates filled the screen, all dated the same Friday. 38 employees supposedly finished a 4-hour passenger rights course between 2 o'clock and 2:17 p.m. Leah whispered, "We were boarding flights." "Who signed the report?" Miriam answered, "Victor Hale's compliance office." Ruth's recording filled the screen. Marcus asking for a written reason, Dana saying there was no incident, Grant refusing to inspect the manifest. No one moved when the gate door clicked shut. Then Owen's voice came through the speakers. "Please don't make this difficult." He reached for the water pitcher and missed the handle. Marcus watched until the image froze on the empty doorway. "What outcome are you seeking?" "Not a settlement." "That wasn't my question." Marcus folded the canceled slip along its crease. "Find who designed the process, who benefited, and who was taught to make the passenger disappear inside the paperwork." Joyce nodded once. "The credit hold remains." Dana's chair scraped back. "Am I being blamed for all of it?" Marcus looked at the 5 records bearing her initials. "No," he said, "but you will answer for everyone." Outside, an aircraft lifted through gray light. Nathan opened a hidden spreadsheet labeled Priority Recovery. Beside each displaced passenger was the executive who received the seat. Leah placed a black flash drive on the boardroom table and kept 2 fingers pressed against it. "This is a copy," she said. "The original is with the auditors." Air conditioning hummed above the glass wall. Baggage carts crossed rain-dark lanes outside. No one reached for the drive. Edward Mercer, 61, a board member and Colin's father, entered without knocking, silver-haired and broad-shouldered. "Why am I here?" Nathan turned the screen toward him. "Your son received Seat 2A through an executive courtesy override." Edward glanced at Marcus. "This could have been handled privately." "It was," Marcus said. "That is why there are 14 files." Ruth's video began. Dana's voice filled the room. "There is no incident." Edward faced Miriam. "Turn that off." "No." On screen, the gate door closed. The metallic click sounded louder through the speakers. "I was standing 10 feet away," Tom said. "I knew his pass was valid." Nathan asked, "Why didn't you speak?" Tom rubbed his watch band. "I had a connection. I thought someone else would." "Did anyone?" "No." The ventilation hum filled the answer. Leah pushed the drive toward Nathan. "It contains messages from the priority desk. We were told to protect executive relationships." Dana looked at her. "You were not supposed to copy internal messages." "I wasn't supposed to watch records change either." Nathan opened the first thread. Free to A. Mercer guest. Use voluntary if challenged. Edward's face tightened. "I never wrote that." "You called Victor Hale's office," Miriam said. I asked whether my son could be accommodated. After the cabin was full. That is not a crime. No, Marcus said. Falsifying the removal is a breach. Dana folded a tissue into smaller squares. There were bonuses. For on-time departures? Nathan asked. For priority recovery. If executive guests were seated and complaints closed before monthly review, supervisors received points. Owen stared at her. You never told cabin staff. You knew which passengers mattered. I knew what you told me. Nathan replayed the aisle recording. Please don't make this difficult, Owen heard himself say. He reached for the water pitcher, missed the handle, and struck the glass. Water shivered inside it. I thought he was refusing a seat. You told him the reason was irrelevant, Ruth said. Owen looked at Marcus. I judged the situation too quickly. Marcus said nothing. Dana's voice thinned. I wanted the promotion. Victor said delays showed weak leadership. Edward's office had complained about me before. Edward turned. Do not put this on me. I put your son in 2A. You made that choice. Yes. Dana finally met Marcus's eyes. I did. Leah's fingers had left pale marks on the plastic. Nathan closed the thread. The evidence shows pressure from senior management, financial incentives, and deliberate alteration of records. Edward buttoned his coat. My counsel will respond. At the door, Marcus spoke. Did Colin know whose seat he took? Edward stopped. He knew someone had been removed. The latch clicked behind him. Nathan opened the final folder. It held a payment ledger for priority recovery bonuses, approved each month by Victor Hale. The payment ledger stayed on the wall screen after Nathan stopped scrolling. Victor Hale's approval appeared beside every monthly bonus pool. Edward Mercer returned before the door closed. You have no authority to present that without counsel. Nathan did not look up. The audit hold covers records tied to the credit agreement. Miriam's phone vibrated. The board has called an emergency session. At 10:18 a.m., Victor appeared by video, his tie loosened. This is being distorted, he said. Priority recovery protected revenue. Joyce Kim asked, by removing confirmed passengers? By resolving conflicts efficiently. Why were reports rewritten as voluntary? Victor glanced toward Donna. Local managers selected the language. Donna unfolded the tissue in her lap. Your office sent the template. I sent guidance. Leah pushed the flash drive toward Nathan. The message says, use voluntary. No exception notes. Victor's image froze, then returned. Marcus sat at the end of the table with his portfolio closed. Edward leaned toward the camera. Suspend the employees who made the changes and move forward with financing. Marcus lifted his eyes. No. Edward turned. You recused yourself. From the credit vote, not from saying what the evidence shows. This began with a gate decision. It began when leaders rewarded people for hiding gate decisions. Victor's voice sharpened. You are risking thousands of jobs over one seat. The jobs were put at risk when false reports were signed. At 10:42, the board secretary entered with 2 sealed notices. Victor was suspended pending investigation. Edward was removed from the Passenger Services Committee and barred from internal systems. Dana read her own letter twice. She was relieved of supervisory duty and ordered to a hearing. Owen's cabin manager status was suspended. Owen swallowed. So that's it? No, Miriam said. It starts now. Joyce closed the blue credit folder. The committee confirmed material misrepresentation. The existing $3.8 billion facility is terminated under the reporting covenant. On the screen behind her, the green funding bar disappeared. Victor stared at the empty space. You cannot do this in one morning. The clause bears your signature, Joyce said. His pen lay across the unsigned renewal agreement. He lifted it, then placed it back in the same position. Dana stood. They will say we caused everything. Marcus looked at the 5 records carrying her initials. You caused part of it. Her shoulders dropped. But if this ends with 2 gate employees and a cabin manager, he continued, the next version of the system will use different names. Miriam nodded to Nathan. Expand the review. How far? Executive office, compliance, bonuses, complaint closures, and every manual seat override for 3 years. Edward gave a dry laugh. You are dismantling the company. No, Marcus said. We are finding out who already did. Outside the glass wall, passengers crossed the terminal, unaware that the airline's largest source of credit had vanished. Ruth slipped her phone into her tote. Leah finally released the flash drive. Nathan opened a new case file and typed, Systemic Review. Do not limit to frontline staff. By 11:07 a.m., the boardroom had emptied except for Marcus, Miriam, Nathan, Joyce, and Leah. Nathan turned the case file toward them. A systemic review takes months. The airline cannot operate indefinitely without liquidity. Joyce closed her tablet. Then new financing must be conditional. Not cosmetic conditions, Marcus said. Miriam uncapped a marker and faced the glass wall. Name them. Marcus removed the canceled boarding slip, original manifest, and Claire's photograph. He placed them in a row. No seat change after boarding without a recorded reason visible to the passenger. Every manual override requires approval outside operations. No hidden executive guest list. Leah looked up. They'll rename it. Then prohibit any private priority list, regardless of name. Outside, a baggage tug beeped in reverse. What about employees? Miriam asked. A protected reporting channel, Leah said, not one routed through the same managers. And training? Observed and audited, Marcus replied. No certificates created afterward. At noon, Celeste Harper joined by video. 49, with silver-streaked braids, she had spent 2 decades in consumer advocacy. You want an ombudsman? She said. Independence or decoration? Independence. Then I report to the audit committee, publish quarterly findings, and reopen closed complaints. Displaced passengers receive automatic compensation, Celeste continued, before they ask. Joyce glanced at Marcus. That affects cash flow. So did the hidden list. By 1:18 p.m., a draft framework covered the glass. Manual seat changes would require dual confirmation. The red override button would remain gray until an independent reviewer approved it. Every action would carry a name, timestamp, and reason. Leah studied the mock-up. What if a supervisor says the flight will be delayed? The system asks whether the passenger consented, Celeste said. And if they didn't? It records that too. Miriam turned the marker. Dana and Owen? Separate proceedings, Nathan said. Marcus picked up Claire's photograph. The wheel mark still crossed her dress. I'm not asking for anyone to be spared, he said. I'm asking that the company stop pretending punishment is reform. Joyce opened a funding proposal. The committee can authorize limited draws for payroll and safety operations, nothing for bonuses, expansion, or executive compensation. Released in stages, after verified milestones. Publicly verified, Celeste said. At 2:06 p.m., the board approved the framework. Victor's office was sealed. Edward's access remained revoked. A compensation fund was created for passengers found in altered records. Miriam handed Leah a temporary badge. Passenger Integrity Unit, Leah read. It's an offer, Miriam said. Leah rubbed her thumb over the title. Do I report to the same people? No, Celeste answered. You report through me. Leah clipped the badge to her coat. Marcus's phone vibrated. Ceremony ended. I saved your chair anyway. He typed, I am still coming. At the gate below, technicians installed the first update. The red button disappeared. In its place, a gray box waited for a second name before any passenger could be moved. At 5:26 p.m., Marcus entered the Denver auditorium carrying only his portfolio. The ceremony had ended. Programs littered the aisle, and workers folded chairs beneath warm stage lights. His suitcase was still in airport storage, so he wore the same wrinkled shirt and charcoal jacket. Amelia stood near the stage with her award under one arm. You missed the speech, she said. I know. You missed them calling my name. I know that too. One chair remained beside a framed photograph of Claire. A card on the seat was reserved for Dad. Marcus stopped before it. I tried to be fair to people who weren't fair to me, he said. Amelia looked at the wheel mark across her mother's yellow dress. Did it help? Not in time. Neither moved. Then Amelia folded the card and shifted the empty chair beside Marcus. Sit down, she said. I'll give the speech again. He sat. She stood beneath the dimming lights and began with the first line. This time, he heard every word. 3 weeks later, an independent report confirmed 46 altered seat records, false training certificates, and executive pressure tied to the Priority Recovery Program. Victor Hale was dismissed for approving the system and concealing complaints. Edward Mercer resigned from the board. Dana lost her supervisory role and entered formal retraining after accepting responsibility for 5 removals. Owen returned to cabin service only after monitored instruction and direct apologies. At Donna's hearing, Marcus sat in the back row. She approached afterward. I kept telling myself I was protecting departures. You were protecting decisions, he said. I know. He stepped aside so she could leave without crossing the waiting cameras. Ruth gave her original video to the auditors and returned to teaching adult literacy. Tom submitted statements, admitting he had stayed silent to protect a connection. Leah accepted the Passenger Integrity Unit role under Celeste Harper. Her first quarterly review reopened 31 complaints marked resolved. 6 months later, Marcus entered the redesigned terminal with Amelia. The red override control was gone. A gray box now required 2 employee names, a written reason, and confirmation visible to the passenger before any seat could change. At Gate C9, an agent scanned Marcus's pass. Seat 3A, she said. I need to verify one thing. Amelia raised an eyebrow. The agent turned the screen toward them. The system requires the same confirmation for everyone. Marcus nodded. Then, take your time. Across the concourse, Celeste presented the first public oversight report. Compensation had reached every identified passenger. Executive guest privileges had ended. Limited credit had resumed in stages, each release tied to verified reform. Before boarding, Amelia handed Marcus a small package. Inside was Claire's photograph in a new wooden frame. The wheel mark had not been removed. You left it, he said. It happened, Amelia replied, but it doesn't get the whole picture. Marcus ran his thumb along the worn edge. The boarding announcement began. Passengers stood, gathered coats, and formed an ordinary line. Amelia touched his sleeve. Are you coming? He placed the photograph inside his portfolio. Yes, he said. This time, I'm already here. They walked toward the gate together. The chair beside him was no longer empty. Have you ever watched someone be judged, dismissed, or pushed aside while everyone else stayed quiet. Share what happened in the comments, especially if one person's decision changed the outcome. Send this story to someone who believes dignity should never depend on clothing, status, or who is willing to make a call. Stories like Marcus's matter because real change begins when silence ends, records are preserved, and systems are forced to answer for the people they overlook. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and reforms that reach beyond a single apology. Your voice, your experience, and your willingness to speak up may remind someone else that being calm does not mean being powerless.